After the somewhat oppressing book that was Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn, I felt like I needed a little bit of a breather, a quiet time on the countryside. More quiet, quaint, a little more peaceful book with a little bit of a slower pace, but still immersive. And I think I found it. The Searchers by Tana is exactly that. It's not a holy shit, did you see that twist coming kind of book. It's not urgent in the same way, but it's really a nice breather in between books. I'm going to talk a little bit more about them now. The book is much more about place, people, and vibes. And all things are really great. It's executed perfectly for what it is. It's about a former police officer from the US going to Ireland to settle down, get away from it all. So he buys a little bit of a plot of land in Ireland and tries to fix his house, settle down, just, have a pint on the pub. Now, full disclosure before I go any further, I might do an Irish accent during this video. And if you're from Ireland watching, I am genuinely sorry. But I don't think I can help myself. No one is perfect. The countryside really feels like its own character. It's such a nice setting. You kind of feel the smell of grass, the cold wind, the songs from the pub, the pints with the lads. And it's such a great little cozy environment. It's not this oppressive mystery. And it's just feels lived in. It's super cozy. They go down to the pub, they sing songs, Irish songs, about an Irish lass. See, I already did it. People are casually talking. There's an old guy named Martin who kind of knows the lay of the land, who's been there for a long time. But the important thing about this book is actually that people, and this is the truth in the real world too, people tend to leave the smaller towns to go to the bigger cities for opportunities, money, jobs, career, self-realization, so to speak. And it kind of leaves these smaller places to die in a way. And this book really focuses a little bit on the youth that leaves are usually women who are bright and, more book smart, so to speak. And they go to Dublin to make something of their life, whereas the boys stay back and do the job their father did, or maybe they don't have the opportunity. So it's kind of like, what happened to the youth that stayed behind? What happened to the youth that went away, right? And the book is really about that theme. And the book is really about one of those people. So before we go into that, let's talk about Cal. Cal is the main character, and I really like Cal. He changes in subtle ways throughout the book, not in like big speeches or acts of valor, though he has probably one or two scenes like that. He's a former police cop, as I said, from the US. He has a kind of a strained relationship with her ex-wife and somewhat distant relationship with his daughter, though not really in a toxic way, not in a Sharp Objects kind of way. I'll guarantee you that. Cal befriends a small child named Trey. Now, Trey is actually a girl. It's kind of a twist in the book, so to speak. It's not really a twist, it's more of a reveal. But I could not find a way to record this without saying she about Trey, because that's what she is. So even though it's supposed to be like a reveal, it's not really that important. So basically, Trey wants to find out what happened to her big brother. And since she got the news that Cal is a police officer, she tries to get his help. And because he has nothing else to do, I presume, and because he just wants to kind of help her, he agrees under certain circumstances. And it's fun to see Cal do police work without the badge, without being official, with just going, being charming, getting answers from people. It's fun to see him work in kind of this charismatic way and not kind of a brute force kind of guy. He also seems really down to earth and really chill. It's not an edgy police officer like, I went away from the force and now I'm an alcoholic and I drink before noon and I drink afternoon and I actually just drink the whole day because that's what alcoholics do. The book is actually really fantastic in the way that Cal has two phone calls with his daughter, one in the beginning and one in the end. and by the end, you can kind of see the relationship and his development. And I thought that was really, really interesting to kind of show his development through like a phone call. And it's not a massive thing. It's not like, oh, his character changed so much, but he kind of repaired some of his relationship with his daughter through his friendship with Trey. And I thought that was great. The relationship between Cal and Trey is probably the beating heart of the story. It's a fun dynamic. Trey is this unapologetic Irish lass who can't give a fuck about nothing. That wasn't even the right accent, wasn't it? That way, the nature of the mystery is actually very low stakes. Sharp Objects was about a child murderer, which seems like an urgent case. But this one is more like, what happened to him? He might just have run away from home. He might just have gotten himself into trouble. Who knows? We don't know. And does it really matter? The town is not going to change. The people in the town's lives is not going to change. No one is really going to change. It's all so that Trey, the one character who's not really the main character, can get a peace of mind. And that's interesting. That's again low stakes. So it's not an let's save the world, let's fight the murderer, let's this big reveal. It's not a mystery like that. It's just it follows what the story is, which is this quaint little thing where you can just breathe and breathe. And of course, the ending, I'm not going to spoil anything, but it ends the way it should. It doesn't go it doesn't go bombastic, it doesn't go loud. It's a quieter piece of book. But I don't think it's boring per se. I actually think it has a really good pace. Normally, when I read books, I can read for like an hour, and then I have to take a little bit of a break because my brain is processing. But here, I can just pace myself. I can just read for a long period of time, long period of time. So you just settle into the book in a nice way, and I really enjoyed it. So I guess I would say that you should read The Searchers if you want a quieter time, a fun time, a time where hanging out in the pub singing songs is a vital scene. It's a book that's good in between books. Have you just read a high octane mystery where you try to find a real bastard of a killer? Read this one to get a breather. Have you just read deep philosophy or deep, hard classic books or nonfiction? Read this as a breather. Have you just read high action fantasy? Read this for a breather. It's a good in between book. Now, it's probably not the best first. If you've never read a mystery book, don't read this one as the first one. I don't think that's the best idea in the world because it is a little slow while not being boring and while not being tedious, so to speak. But it is just a little bit more quaint and a little bit less focused on plot and something to happen all the time. It's very deliberate. Now, I actually found out that it's a trilogy, and that thought actually made me really happy. Here in Scandinavia, we kind of do a lot of books following one detective solving so many cases. So it's like 15 books in a series where one detective keeps solving, different crimes. And I always thought, why have so many in the series? Why not just have a one and done mysteries? But now I kind of get it because the cases are just an excuse to hang out with the cop, with a friend, so to speak. And I kind of like the idea of going back to Cal in the Irish countryside at some point. Also, there's just some books you can't do a sequel to, right? Can you imagine like the guest list too? There's another wedding. No one is attending that wedding. No one. Don't even think about it. So yeah, go read The Searchers. Bye.